Hey, I'm Tony from the Marathon Mates. Can you believe it? Christmas is almost here. And on this episode, we're going to have a little bit of Christmas fun. We're going to talk about running traditions that exist right around the world. There are alternatives, people, to the elf on the shelf, especially for runners. And we're going to talk a little bit about what our ultimate Christmas playlist to listen to when running. Now, we might even throw in a couple of gift suggestions for your favorite podcast hosts, right? We love running and we love sharing our adventures of running around the world with all of our listeners and followers. We are the only podcast with 4 7-star World Marathon Major runners. This is the Flying Runner Podcast. Are you ready to run? Let's go.
Teach the flying runner, run far, run free. Host the 7 stars, inclusive as can be. It's the flying runner for you and me.
All right, so before we talk about any of that, I need to introduce my regular co-hosts. We got Tim, Tara, and Lucia. A very general sense, how is everyone? And before we get started, Luch, we had a tragic event in Bondi the night before we recorded this podcast, and we know that's your community.
Yeah, correct. So for our listeners and viewers which haven't heard, there was an incident at Bondi Beach on Sunday the 14th. It was the start of Hanukkah for the Jewish community, which is the Festival of Light. There was a big festival down there. It was a big family event. Unfortunately, 2 people, which I don't want to mention their names or give them any light, decided to target that festival. So there was 15 people have passed, plus one of the gunmen. So there were thousands of people on the beach. So it was a absolutely chaotic scene yesterday down at Bondi Beach. But all of the first respondents have been just absolutely amazing. So it has been a difficult time for the Jewish community, not only in the area, but obviously all over Australia. So I also want to just say a big thank you to everyone that's reached out to me, asking if I was near it, if I was okay. I'm okay. It's a little bit hard because there was an incident at Bondi Westfield in April 24 as well. And today, the 15th of December, also marks 11 years since the Link Cafe siege in Sydney as well. So it's it's been interesting couple of days. So I'm doing okay. I just went to a friend's place for the lighting of the candle. She had us over, so it was really nice to show them support. So it was a terrible incident. So thank you to everyone that's reached out.
It was a absolutely horrible incident, and let's hope we don't see the likes of that again here in Australia. So thanks, Luch. We were very worried about you, of course, and it's great that the Bondi community is, like many communities in Australia, just resilient, tough. Sometimes I wish we didn't have to be. So let's all our thoughts, especially to the Bondi community and to everyone affected by yesterday's events. So now it almost feels funny to go on to something as how was your week and what were your running plans. But Tim and Tara, let's talk about how was your week, because I believe you did something on Sunday that you haven't done for a while.
Yeah, we went for a long run, which we haven't done for about 3 or 4 weeks, and we've got to run it together, which we haven't done probably for, I don't know how many months now, Tara, on our long runs. It's been
probably
couple of months at least.
Sydney, I reckon.
Sydney, yeah, in August. So, we got a long run in. Not so long. Well, it was a long enough-ish sort of a run. It wasn't my normal distance that I'd run, but it was a comfortable run. We are just both fatigued. It's been a big year. Our bodies are tired. We're tired mentally and drained. I had a Christmas party on Friday night after work. I got home late. And then we had a 60th birthday on Saturday night. So just the fact that we even were able to get up and go out and have a few drinks that night on the Sunday night, wake up the next morning and then go for a run, that's a good thing. That's a positive. But yeah, on the Saturday we got Parkrun done. It was a pretty sad and somber Parkrun for us as well. One of our running friends in the community there passed away whilst doing Parkrun a couple of weekends ago. And unfortunately, Margaret passed away. We met Margaret many, many years ago. She was at Uluru when we went to Uluru. Her twin sister Gwen as well was there. And so it was quite sad going to the Parkrun event at North Lakes where the big community there was all out in force to wish Margaret and wish her or celebrate her life, I guess, and wish her family all the best given what they've been through in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, it was a pretty somber sort of a parkrun, wasn't it, Tara?
It was a very somber, but it was nice reflection and way to celebrate her life. Look, Margaret had done over 500 parkruns, so
Wow.
to celebrate her life that way at a place where she loved it so much, it was very fitting for her as well. So yeah, but yeah, look, parkrun was really somber, but our long run was good. So yeah.
Lucia, how was your training during the week?
Well, let me ask you guys a question. So for my long run at the moment, I wanted to get into double figures. Just wanted 10. So I'm going around Centennial Park. I go down the middle, which has the cafe, which sometimes I'm known to stop at. What do you guys think I did? Did I stop or did I go past it?
Stopped.
Went past it and did your 10K.
Tara?
Stopped.
You guys, Tony knows me better than you guys. I went past it. I got my 10Ks done. I was chuffed.
But did you go back to it?
No, I went home.
Oh,
Yes, I know.
Well done. Well done.
I'm like, I'm growing up.
that's boring.
I know.
Growing up, or have you got a purpose now? Have you got a goal you're training for, and therefore you're training with some sort of purpose?
I just mentally wanted to get a run with double figures in. I'm like, because last week I piked out. I'm like, no, I need to get one done. So hopefully this is the kickstart I need.
So is this your training for your 2026 start that you're going through?
Oh, let's see how I go. I will try and give it a good crack.
Yeah.
She didn't say it was kilometers, Tara. It could be donuts.
No, I think eating 26 donuts on the first of January wouldn't be a bit much for me, and that's saying something.
Mine might be drinking 26 beers, maybe, I don't know. But 2.6 kilometers you could do. So that's in the theme, absolutely. Yeah. I just walked again, guys. My back is still not good. I've got a bit of nerve pain down my right leg, and my glute is incredibly sore. So every time I sit down and then I've got to get back up, I've got to really support myself with my legs. So I've got some things happening on Thursday that hopefully will give me a little bit of relief. But I'm walking, and that's the main thing for me at the moment, just to get some movement in. So Sharon and I walked most mornings last week, and then we did a 5K walk on Saturday, and then did a 3K walk on Sunday. So it's just, I'm happy to be moving, but really annoyed that I've still got this back pain from something as innocuous as getting out of the car. So the next thing on the run sheet is update on the ChatGTP training program, but I haven't got one on my program. Has anyone else got an update of something they've heard or something that's going on with our listener group?
Haven't heard anything.
Okay.
And I don't have an update on me.
Okay. So if you are doing a ChatGTP training program, keep us in the loop. We'd love to know how it's going. All right. So thanks, guys. It's that time of the week where we go to Tim and we talk about the news. Tim, what's been happening around the world this week?
Thanks, Tony. This week, Abbott's has published the list of 6-star medal stats following another big year of racing around the world. Starting with Australia, there have been now a total of 602 6-star finishes, which comprise of 261 females and 341 males and 0 non-binary athletes. So, guys, we are 4 of the 602 people with the 6-star medal. Across the world, the total number of 6-star finishes has now increased to 23,260 finishes as a result, as at the end of this year. And that is a total from 139 different nations. The average age of a 6-star finisher is 50 years and 7 months. The average time, averaging per marathon for their 6-star journey, is 4 hours and 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So a lot of speedy people are getting through that journey. And that's probably skewed by, I guess, a little bit how difficult it is to get into Boston. So maybe that brings that result down. I don't know. Here's some of the scary stats. There are 370 runners around the world that have multiple 6-star medals. Now, I know a couple of these people, but there are 291 runners that have got 2 6-star medals. There are only 51 runners around the world with 3 6-star medals, 20 runners around the world with 4 6-star medals, 5 runners that have 5 6-star medals, 2 runners that have 6 6-star medals, and 1 runner who has 7 6-star medals. Now, if you look at the cost of traveling around the world to do all those events, and I think we've talked about this before, I know for Tara and I it'd be about $100,000 or thereabouts. To do that 7 times around the world, to do all those events, it's a huge cost. So I guess congratulations to that single runner that's done it that many times, but I don't know how you do it. Maybe they live in America, which reduces some of the costs. Now, this year, 2025, runners around the world completed their 6-star journey. So there were 2,434 runners who completed it in Tokyo. 1,548 runners who got it in Boston, 816 runners who got it in London, 202 runners that got it in Berlin, 144 runners in Chicago, and 426 runners in New York. So Tokyo and Boston are so high in their numbers, I guess, where people are finishing largely because of the COVID years in Tokyo where they didn't run it. There's a backlog of runners still coming through. And then obviously Boston, because it is so difficult and challenging to get into, it's not difficult to understand why that is the popular one there for finishing your 6 stars. So, guys, these are great stats. I love seeing these stats, but the problem I have with them is they are excluding Sydney quite a lot. There's no mention in these stats around Sydney or the 7 stars or anything like that. And I know we're sort of in a transition between 6 and ultimately 9 stars in a couple of years' time. But I said that after we went to Sydney on this podcast, that it was a bit like it was exclusive. The 6-star club in Sydney was just sort of out on the outer. You went to the expo and you didn't see the 6-star war. There wasn't a lot of merch around the 6-star products and things like that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys, on all these stats and also the exclusion of Sydney?
I get that they want to highlight the 6-star, but then at the same time, if you're adding additional stars, why are they being excluded? It just seems weird that they're not, because I can't remember who said it, that someone actually asked the expo in Sydney, why isn't there the wall? Yeah, because they said that Sydney's not part of the 6-year. Well, no shit, Sherlock, it's not, but it is a major now. So I just think it's just weird that that the only thing in which they've included Sydney on is some of the merch, and that's it, really.
Yeah, I get the sense, Tim, that, you know, the 6-star is still going to be the thing. My gut feel is that in 5 years, even when they've got the 9-star, I think the 9-star will kill the concept. That's just, I'm getting a sense of that. There's a little bit of ho-hum about Shanghai, and, you know, I think Shanghai really have to get rid of some of their challenges of, you know, access and getting people in. But I think once they go 9-star, I think people might start losing interest. I think the 6-star will remain, and I don't know what Abbott are going to do, whether they'll run the 6-star and the 9-star, or whether they get rid of the 6-star and then just run the 9-star. So it's going to be really interesting. But I get what you're saying. But at the moment, you don't get a medal for running up Sydney on as part of the Abbott's thing. So you get acknowledged as a 7-star finisher on a website that I can point people to, but that's just about it. So I get it, but I think we are going to have 6 majors and then 3 mini majors, if that makes any sense. That's just my sense. I don't think they're handling this at all well.
No. I think it's a transition thing. Tara, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, I know myself. I fully expected to go to Sydney and see my name on a wall. I mean, that was my first time I would have seen. I'll never see my name on the wall in person, because that would have been the only time, because the wall is only up for, 12 months, I think it is now. So for them to be so dismissive of the fact when we were in Sydney, there was no merch, there was no nothing. I know, Tony, you got yourself that Sydney that says 7 on it, but that's all that it says. There's no Abbott's thing that actually, differentiates it from, or puts it in, includes it, I should say, rather than differentiates it. So it is very disappointing. I understand their motive and then, their needs behind that. But yeah, I agree with Tony. I think the other 3 are going to be mini majors. They're not going to be classed as part of that major marathons. And that's fine. Hey, look, I shouldn't complain. I've got a 6-star medal. There's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
And I know that that's the achievement for a lot of people. So I'm grateful for that. And I won't whinge about the fact that I've been able to do Sydney. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the same problems will still exist, right? In that people will get to 8 stars and still not be able to get their Boston qualified in time and be able to get in there. So until they can fix the entries into Boston somehow and get more entries in there for everyday runners, it's always going to be a problem for people to get their medals anyway. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. So we'll keep an eye on it. I guess, as I keep saying, it's a transition period at the moment. Maybe it'll solve itself out in due course. But the other bit of news, guys, was this weekend it's just been the Honolulu Marathon has been run and done. Now, I know for many Australians this is a bucket list event. I know for Tara and I know for Tony, you talked about it last year. You did the virtual Honolulu Marathon and you've got your eyes set on it at some stage in the future, as does myself and Tara. So to give you some idea of the stats from this event, there were 42,000 entrants into the Honolulu Marathon, which makes it the largest edition of the marathon ever. There were 63 different countries represented, including 11,000 separate runners from Japan, believe it or not. All 50 states and territories from the US were represented. The largest age division, believe it or not, was the 26 to 29 years age division, which we've talked about. We've seen rapid increases in those age groups over the last few years, and that's what they're seeing in Honolulu as well. And there were close to 7,000 runners in that age division, which made up about 17% of the overall field. 40% of runners are first-timers that are running their first ever marathon. So what a great place to run your first ever marathon. And I know last week we talked about our first ever marathon experiences, and maybe that's something some of our listeners might put on their bucket list if they decide to step up to the marathon distances, to go to Honolulu and run it over there. The stats were the closest ever they've had. They had 49.6% women and 50.2% men. 94 is the oldest participant who towed the starting line, and there were 14,981 local Hawaiians. So, guys, I know this is one of the 4 largest marathon fields in the US. You tend to have New York, Chicago, LA, I think it is, and then Honolulu are the 4 big ones in the US. It's a great event, this one. It has no cutoff limit. It has multiple different events from the what is it, the Merry Mile or the Miracle Mile or whatever. Merry Mile, I think it is.
Merry
Tony.
Mile.
Right. Yep. right through to the full marathon distance. So it's definitely one we'll put on our bucket lists, and maybe, just maybe, in the next few weeks when we're talking about our races in 2026, you might just hear Honolulu Marathon mentioned again, guys.
Yeah, it's 11,000 from Japan. It's now sponsored by Japan Airlines, which when you first, I think it's always been Hawaiian Airlines that have sponsored it, but now it's Japan Airlines. So 11,000 from Japan that go to it, and Japan and Hawaii have always had that synergy, of course. But you mentioned the Merry Mile, and I watched the replay of that because I just love that concept. It's a handicap concept. The men were given a 31-second handicap over the ladies this year. Last year, I spoke about it as well. The ladies were given 32-second head start, and Nikki Hiltz won it last year just on the line. She pipped the male on the line. This year, 31 seconds, and a lady called Sinclair Johnson smashed the American record, road mile record, almost got the world mile record, and won it convincingly, easily. Nikki Hiltz came second, and then the first male, who was Josh Hoey, came third, and he only just pipped the third lady. So almost first, second, and third for the ladies this year in the Merry Mile. It is such a unique event, and it's so much fun to watch. So, yeah, it was cool.
Go the girls. And that's the news this week, Tony.
Thank you, Tim. So, as always, very, very informative. And some of those numbers out of Hawaii were just amazing. So 42,000, it is on my bucket list. And as you said, there may be some discussions around what we're doing in 2026. Let's see how we go. Let's see how my quest for sub 60 goes with the 10K and how I'm feeling. But the interesting thing about the Honolulu Marathon, is that it's still registration. You can still continue to register right up until almost like a month before. So anyway, all right, let's talk about what we're here to talk about. And so we've once again gone to our good friend ChatGTP for 10 of the funniest Christmas running traditions from around the world. And I don't know how true these are. Tim does our run sheet. So if I say something and Tim starts laughing hysterically, you know he's made it up, and just making it out that it's a tradition. So let's start with this. So I'm going to talk about the tradition, and then we're going to get your thoughts on that tradition. Is that the way we're running? So
Yeah. I just copy and paste out of ChatGPT, by the way. I'm not that clever.
I don't know. The tinsel tempo run is the very first tradition, and this is where runners deck themselves out in tinsel, then realize halfway through that it scratches like sandpaper and sheds everywhere. The bonus tradition is that you end up finding tinsel in your shoes in March. So, Luch, let's start with you. I could see you doing the tinsel tempo run.
Well, I've done something similar. This was a few years ago. It was with a run club that I used to be part of, and we did a lap of the bay run, which for people who aren't based in New South Wales, it's a very popular track to run in Sydney. It's a beautiful 7Ks in the inner west, some beautiful views. And one of my friends had brought for me to wear a sparkly Christmas skirt.
Oh.
Needless to say, I had tights on underneath. Let me just put that out there, just before I say the next thing. It didn't last the whole 7Ks at the Bay Run. I had to take it off because it was just getting too hot in it. It was a hot day as well. But I think running in tinsel would just do my head in. I don't think I could do it.
Tim, could you do it?
No, not running in tinsel. It would be scratchy. It would be sweaty. It would stick to your skin. Yeah, not for me, I don't think.
Tara?
Oh, no, definitely not. But what I'm looking at is the bonus tradition of finding tinsel in your shoes in March. my shoes wouldn't have lasted till March. I would have outrun all the distance in them. So I would not be finding tinsel on my shoes by then because I rotate too often.
Classic.
But it does remind me of that where, you see people wrap Christmas lights around themselves in the US and then go for a run at nighttime. And I think to myself every time I see that, no, it's just chafing galore. No, sorry.
A lot of the influencers are out doing that sort of thing at the moment, aren't they? And I'm with you. It looks great for an Instagram shot or a quick reel video, but geez, they wouldn't be doing 10K in it. So, speaking of not doing a lot of miles in it, the next one, the Santa Hat Sweat Fest. Now, this is that classic Christmas run where everyone insists on wearing Santa hats, even though they trap 300% more sweat than any technical fabric ever invented. So I think last year I did Christmas Day Parkrun, and I did wear a Santa hat, and I must say it was stinking hot, and I sweated up a storm. Tim, do you wear Santa hats?
Yes, on Christmas Day for Parkrun, exactly like you said. It's sort of our tradition now, Tara, isn't it? We run them every year with the Christmas hats, and yep, we get a head full of sweat afterwards and a very wet and stinky Santa hat.
Luke?
I think I've done it maybe once or twice, but I always wear a hat when I run anyway. So what I've done previously is I've just whacked the Santa hat on top of that, and by doing it that way, it doesn't make me hotter.
Well, okay.
I disagree. I disagree because I always wear my hat and then I put my Santa hat over top, and it's very hot. But hey, look, guys, I'm hot all the time when I run, so it doesn't matter. It can be winter or summer.
It's like the bobblehead runs at Chicago and New York. I mean, it's a nice thing wearing your beanie, but halfway through you're sweating up a storm. So, hey, the next one's called the Reindeer Relay, and I'm not quite convinced that this is a real thing. So this is where you have teams of 4, and each person is named after a reindeer. So apparently there's arguments always when you do this about who's going to be Dasher and Prancer and who's going to have the big red nose. It's probably the one that drinks the most alcohol, I'd imagine. So if we were doing the reindeer relay, guys, who's who? Which reindeer is who? Who are you running as? Lucia?
I've got to think of the 12 reindeers. That's the problem. I can't remember. So we'll go Prancer.
You're going Prancer. Tara, I'm going to give Tim last option here.
I'll go Blitzen.
Oh, okay. Tim?
I'd have to be Rudolph and out the front leading, wouldn't I?
So there's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna, and Blitzen. Yeah, so I'm just going to be Cupid because you just have to love me. So, hey, this is one right up my alley. It's called the Christmas Cookie Carb Load. It's fueling strategy of eating gingerbread men the night before a long run. Some hosts even insist cookies mid-run count as race nutrition. Lucia, have they been stealing your guidebook on this, have they?
Well, there is the race. I know it's definitely held in Dubai with Krispy Kreme, and you can have a Krispy Kreme after each K. So yeah, would I see gingerbread? It depends, because if they put too much ginger in it, it can be a bit gross. So I'd have to test out the biscuits first to then decide if I would kind of do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Tim?
I would do it. I think gingerbread would have quite a bit of carbs in it with all the flour and stuff. It's got sugars in it to give you energy. And isn't ginger a stomach calming thing in Chinese medicine? You take some ginger and it calms your stomach. So for people like Tara, it might be a good one to actually have and to eat mid-run.
I'd like to debate the ginger thing, because just to go off topic, about 20 years ago, I was in Fiji for a work trip. We were on a cruise. Someone said to me, take ginger tablets. It will help with your seasickness. I take ginger tablets. We get given a glass of orange juice as soon as we board the ship. It was a tiny one. Within the space of an hour, I'm feeding the fish, and they had to lie me down on the deck and cover me in towels because I was that sick. So that's BS about ginger calming the stomach. Sorry.
Well, I've just done a quick search on Google for the carb components of gingerbread men. And of course, the Greg's, that fine establishment in the UK that offers up our breakfast, and it's like a Starbucks type thing. It's saying 30 grams of carb per individual portion. The actual portion of the gingerbread is 42 grams. So 30 grams of the 42 grams is carbohydrate. So maybe Tim's onto something. Tara, you doing the gingerbread?
Oh, look, I think having those carbs in me, yep, absolutely. And if the ginger fixes my stomach, absolutely. Yeah, give it a try.
Laughing. All right, number 5, the elf. Tim's laughing.
This one might not be real.
I just copied and paste.
The elf yourself hill reps. This is where groups dress up as elves and do hill repeats. Spectators assume this is a community theatre performance gone wrong.
I wouldn't do it, but I could see some of the big running groups in Sydney 100% doing it.
I could see Tim doing this. I could really see Tim doing this, actually.
I'm too big to be an elf, Tara. I wouldn't fit the costume.
You'd be like elves
do they wear like the pointy shoes with the curled up toes? Yep. How are you going to do hill reps in them? Seriously. All right.
And the Santa hat, so you're going to get hot and sweaty too.
All right. The Jingle Bell jog. Everyone ties bells to their shoes. The first kilometre, I'm imagining, is going to be pretty cool. But the next 5, I think I'm going to get pretty annoyed, right? Hearing the bells all the way. Tara, are you going to do a Jingle Bell jog this Christmas?
Absolutely not. There is nothing worse. Have you run next to somebody who's got their keys in their pocket jingling?
Yes.
Oh, can you imagine? Or coins in their pocket? Can you imagine listening to that? No way. I don't care how festive it is. Don't do it.
Tim, are you getting festive with your Jingle Bell jog?
I'm thinking about it now for Parkrun on Christmas Day.
Just to annoy Tara.
You'll be running by yourself. You'll be running by yourself.
It might be a good way to get the track to yourself, Tim. So. Lucia, Jingle Bell jogging this season?
Fat no from me, because I am not a fan of the cowbells. They do my head in. Because funny story from Sydney, because I can't remember if I ever told you guys this, but the official tail sweeper, John, lovely guy. He's been the tail sweeper for years. He was ringing that cowbell for about 40 Ks out of the 42 Ks. At one point, and I told him, I said, don't ring it near me, otherwise it's not going to end well. I said that to him at the start. So at one point where we were in Centennial Park, and he knew how much it was annoying me, and he comes right up to me, brings it. I'm like, John, if you don't get it out of my face, I'm going to stick it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
So, no.
Lucia, sometimes you really scare me, right?
Only sometimes.
And I reckon if you're telling me to get out of my face, I'm very quickly getting out of your face. So, John, listen, Lucia is dangerous, right? So, especially if she's just done the mulled wine mile. So this is like the beer mile, but it's festive. And participants claim, so this is like those mulled wines that taste a bit, though, I think we call them Christmas spirit as well. Participants claim the spices help open the airways. Science does not support this. All right, so The mile now, is this like Marathon Madoc or
I was just
No,
thinking maybe
no.
we need to be doing this, Tim, for training.
No, this maybe, but this is a little bit more harder than that. So a beer mile is 4 laps of a 400-meter running track. You start by sculling a beer, and then every lap you have to take a beer as you go around. So you're sculling the wine, not necessarily drinking the wine to be a mulled wine mile, I would imagine. And mulled wine, it's very nice and spicy and warm because it's toasty. It's heated up. But yeah, not for me, I don't think. It's not. It wouldn't be like Madoc. Madoc will be nice because we can just enjoy it as we go, and just pleasantly just let the alcohol content rise in our systems, and we just become more and more pissy as we go along. This will
until
be.
you do that mad dash at the end when you suddenly realise the cutoff's coming. So.
Whereas this would be throwing up after you scull the first lot of mulled wine and knowing you've got a mile, and then every 400 meters throwing up again. I wouldn't think it would be very pretty.
Lucia, I'm going to give you first bite at the next one. This is the Christmas Lights Recovery Run, and this is where runners jog slowly through the neighbourhood, judging everyone's light. So I know a lot of groups do this, a lot of running clubs do this now, and it becomes a competition to spot the very first inflatable Santa with a hole in it. So have you done a Christmas Lights run at all, or let's call it a recovery run, but we can call it a run?
No, because not many houses in my normal run-in area do it, and you're really not going to see the true lights if you're running in the morning. You'll have to wait at night, but it is something I would probably do and just judge and say, okay, that one's better than that one. Oh, I like that decoration. So I probably would do something like that. Maybe not necessarily a run if I'm going to do it at night. Maybe more of a walk.
And Tim and Tara, have you done your Christmas Lights run, or is it just safer staying in the car?
No, I do it.
You do your night nav. Yeah.
Yeah. So at night nav, Reese and Diane, two of my friends that I do night nav with, we hunt out all the Christmas lights. It's lots of fun. Anyone who's friends with me on Strava will see those lights.
Yeah. And Tim, down the coast?
Yeah, the only lights I see are at Sanctuary Cove, just as the on my morning runs, and they're in the morning when I run past them, and they're just starting to fade into the daylight.
Okay, I don't do a Christmas Lights recovery run. So, Ugly Christmas Run Kit Day. So this is where everyone wears their worst holiday-themed running gear, tinsel bras, Rudolph bloomers, shorts that play music.
Oh God!
I'm just gonna say no. However, I must say, right, ugly sweaters are cool. And it's such a shame that we are not cold, but someone needs to make, if they don't already, or let me know where, a running shirt that's an ugly sweater design. Because
okay, so they do that already, Tony. Parkrun has got a ugly singlet. Ugly, it's the same as but it's in running gear. So it's actually a singlet. It's a running singlet, technical shirt, and it's got the ugly Christmas shirt or Christmas sweater design on it, and every year they bring out a new design, and it's usually an Australian themed, like on the front, like emus or budgerigars or
It's not official Parkrun merchandise. It's the Parkrun Adventurers podcast that puts them out.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the Adventurers Is it the Adventurers podcast?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. I'm advertising another podcast. Whoops.
Yeah, but there are other groups that do them as well. A lot of running groups will go and put an order in for an ugly sweater running shirt as well. So that they do exist.
Yeah. Maybe Nike could do one for all their sub 3 hour athletes, but I'm not letting that one go, am I? So, and this is the last tradition. And the Secret Santa shoe swap. So this is where runners secretly gift each other horrendous bargain bin running gear. So things like compression socks with Santa faces, cheap glitter-covered sports bras. Is that a thing, Lucia? You know
Not-
people in run clubs.
Not that I've heard of, but it is something I'd be willing to do, because
Yeah.
sometimes I've seen on socials where you see, because I can just watch reels all day, it's really bad. But I've seen one where if there's a group of people and if they're going on holiday, they're all at the airport and they have to buy each other something, like whether it's an ugly bag or an ugly outfit, and they have to wear it on the flight. So it is something I will do, and I will try and find the ugliest thing possible,
Yeah.
just to annoy the person.
Speaking of gifts for Christmas, I got the world's best Secret Santa today. So I think Secret Santa was designed for all those candle manufacturers, because just about every year I get a candle and like. But this year I actually, and thank you, Carson, because he was the one that owned up to it, because I was saying it's the world's best. It was a little cooler with some beer in it. So I said, whoa. So, yeah, Secret Santa. So what do you guys specifically do over the Christmas period? So we know who's doing Christmas Day Parkrun this year. The Ellises, Lucia?
No,
Not
what
on?
I normally do on Christmas morning, and I've done it for years, because I cook with Christmas ham at home. It's my job. So we only have one oven, and the reason why I've got to say that bit is because we generally do a ham and a turkey. So and we can't cook everything at once. And so what I generally do is I'll get up early before everyone does, put the ham in the oven, and then I'll go for a run. And then when I come back, that's when I open my first beer, because it's the only way I'll be able to. It's the only way I can put up with all the family which come over, because I figure at least if I can have a few drinks, if we're at home, I need to be a bit drunk to kind of deal with them on Christmas Day.
So you need a trigger to open your first beer on Christmas Day?
Well, when you open it before 8 o'clock.
No, it's like chocolate. It's like chocolate. You can just have it whenever you want on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Christmas Day is exempt from every common sense thing we're supposed to be doing. So,
Look, don't get me wrong, I do love my family, but when my two nephews come over and sometimes they're not happy with the presents they get, and all you want to do is just laugh at them,
yeah.
and they're having a tantrum, I've got to be a bit drunk for that.
So I might actually look at doing Parkrun again on Christmas Day, because I haven't done, believe it or not, well, you probably will believe it, I haven't done Parkrun since January this year. So I think maybe if I go back and do Christmas, I might get a double dose or something. All right, so
And we find it's a really good way to start the day. You get up, you go for a run, you clear your head, and you feel energized for the rest of the day. And then by about 3 o'clock, you start to go to sleep, and that's when the dishes are due to be done, and somebody else gets them done. The elves come in and fix and do the dishes.
Tara,
I'm not
the
even an elf, I think.
If it's any consolation, the last Parkrun I did this year, because I've just had a look, the 25th of January.
So you're very similar. Let me just so Tim and Tara, when was the last Parkrun you guys did?
Oh, last weekend.
North Lakes.
I was the 11th.
I think as a collective,
January.
we need to get Tony and Lucia running at least 10 park runs next year. I think that should be their goal. I think New Year's resolution, I know we're not on New Year's resolutions,
Yeah,
but I think that could be a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
up
we
for
could
it.
probably do that. Yeah.
Because
So
I
11.
All right, listeners, we're holding them accountable. 10 for next year.
I ran 34 minutes even at Meadowbrook on the 11th of January 2025. So, and on Christmas Day, I ran Cleveland and did that in 34 minutes and 35 seconds. So I was pretty consistent back in the day. So, hey,
Albert Park in Melbourne.
yeah, and share the time. Come on, Parkrun's not a race.
39:57.
Okay. All right. Is everyone else sick of Elf on a Shelf, or is it just
100%.
something? Yeah. So Tim, once again, with his good research on ChatGTP, has come up with some alternatives, and we want to get your thoughts on what those alternatives look and sound like. First up, and this has almost got like a Berlin sort of vibe, right? Jogger on a log. And if people that have listened to some of our shows on Berlin might be understanding what I'm meaning by a log, which is a tiny runner perched on a piece of firewood, wearing compression socks and looking disappointed because they've eaten too much and they cannot run. You see it taken off? Jogger on a log.
Doesn't rhyme so well, does it? I was trying to get it. That's what ChatGPT came up with. I was trying to get jog on a log, but that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Jogger on a logger. Then that sounds like a jogger lying on top of a logger, guy who cuts timber. That doesn't sound right.
No.
So that one wasn't my favorite one.
Sprinter in the printer. That's a little bit more of a sprinter in the printer, a bit more rhyming. An elf in full sprint stance wedged between the printer paper, because even at Christmas, someone's printing out a training plan which they're likely going to ignore. Right? So do we see that one coming off?
No. Ignoring the training plan, yes.
Yeah. Sprinter in the printer.
But no, not the sprinter part.
Sweaty in the Yeti. An exhausted runner collapsed inside an esky water bottle like it's an ice bath surrounded by electrolytes. I think that's like a swallowing hazard and probably way past Australian standards. Are you in for the sweaty in the Yeti, Tara?
No, I don't think so. Anything that goes in my drink bottle, I sort of I'm a little bit fussed on what goes in there. No sweaty Yeti thingies, no.
Okay. Runner on the gutter. Now, I can actually see this in people's homes. So, Tim, I think this one could work. Runner on the gutter. And this is a tiny marathoner lying dramatically in the roof gutter, as those that have hit the wall at 32 Ks feel like. So those bonus points if they're holding a gel that they refuse to take.
Yep. Maybe not in the roof gutter. Maybe in the street gutter out the front of the house, I think, is probably a better way to do it. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that, or part of a Christmas display. I'm sure that there's some people out there that have a running display somewhere with their Christmas lights. And if you happen to see one, send it through. We'd love to see it. So, and the last one, and everyone's saying, thank God, pacer in the chaser. And this is a miniature pacer hiding inside a shot glass holding a sub-3 jacket. Perfect for Christmas parties where hydration plans deteriorate. Classic, and yes, I could see that one, especially the sub-3 jacket, Leach. Yeah.
I could see it happening as well.
Absolutely. Hey, guys.
And as you drink your chaser, you think of Nike and you go swish as you drink your chaser in the chaser.
Hey, it has been a lot of fun. So let's talk about before we wrap it up, but I've got to talk about Christmas songs and what Christmas songs. I mean, we do get so sick of hearing Christmas songs there at wherever we are, whether it's shopping, at work, on the radio. I always put on a Christmas playlist on Christmas Day, and I think it lasts 2 songs before we move on. So what sort of Christmas songs, however, do you put on a playlist? Let's start with Tim first.
I'm an old Bing Crosby fan, so I like all the classic Christmas carols. That's what I was brought up with, and I think I like them more than sort of the Mariah Carey or the, I don't know, what's the other ones this year, the Elton John or the any of those ones. I don't like the modern ones as much as the older ones. Mind you, it would feel weird listening to old Christmas carols about, snowy environments and, it's cold outside and all those sort of things when you're running and sweating in 35-degree temperatures. So
you've just confused me completely now, Tim, because I can see I could not run to Bing. Tara?
I think my song and your song would be probably the same song there, Tony, which would be Paul Kelly.
Yeah, how to make gravy? Who's going to make
That's
the
the one.
gravy? Yeah, I think the best Christmas song ever, and for not a Christmas song. Lucia.
Surprisingly, I don't include Christmas songs in my playlist. I'm happy to hear them when they're on the radio or if not in shops, but I don't generally include Christmas songs as part of my playlist over the festive period.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
I'm just going to do a little bit of cross promotion because, as people may know, I do host another podcast called Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and it is all about music. And last year, a gentleman called Chris Mazawak, who used to play in Screaming Tribesmen and Radio Birdman, actually released a Christmas song, which is just a raunchy, rugged sort of I've forgotten the name of it, but if you look up Chris Mazawak on Spotify, I'm sure you'll be able to find it, but it's a great song. All right, so before we wrap things up.
Christmas wrapping, I love it.
And I had to pause then because it does say pun intended, but I just wanted to let it sit. Before we wrap up our discussion, hey, look, a really quick one. I do want to do another promotion. Next year, we want to do a little bit of a spotlight on running clubs as we start to build into the year. So if you are in a running club and want to have a 30-second spotlight on our podcast, we'd love to hear from you, and you know how to contact us on any of our socials or via our website. But I'm going to hand it over to Tim's tip.
Tim's tip, just keep your pace. No need to win, no need to race. Feel the earth, feel the sky. Tim's tip says, just give it a try. Yeah.
So, Tim, what's your tip for the week?
Thanks, Tony. My tip this week is it's okay not to run through the holiday period. You don't need to run. You can actually just give your body a break and enjoy the period and rest up. Rest is a good thing for the body. It's also a good thing for the mind. And you can always focus on things again a week or two later once the new year begins and you get back into a normal routine in day-to-day life. So if you do run during the holiday period, though, rest, take it easy, slow it down. You're not running for PBs. There's no races on at this time of year. It's just about if you're running, run for fun, run for the enjoyment of it, but don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy the moment. And I guess that's my tip for this week.
Absolutely, and what a great tip. And Tim, we have just played your new music as Tim's tip. So last week we shared Lucia's new, what do we call it? Jingle, for want of another word. This week it was yours, and we can't wait for when Tara does her next tip so we can showcase her new song. If you do like the new music, let us know, and we'll let you know. We might even release them. So we'll see what happens. So this episode is about to end, but before we do, I'm going to pass over to Tara to tell us what is on next week, apart from the obvious, which is Christmas.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Tony. I can't believe it, but we are very quickly heading towards the end of the year. So on next week's show, we're going to do a review of the year that was. We'll share our memories of the year, including the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll share our performance stats from Garmin and talk about whether or not we achieved the goals we wanted to hit for the year. And as we keep saying, we are the only podcast with 4 7-star world major marathoners. And as usual, it will be another great episode and definitely not one to be missed.
Thank you, Tara. Absolutely. Please do not miss next week's episode. I'm looking forward to talking about especially the ugly parts of 2025. So that's it for this week's show. As usual, it's been a fun one. I think I haven't laughed this much for a long, long time. So thank you, Tim, for putting all of that together. And of course, we've had fun catching up and talking about Christmas. And hopefully we've given you a couple of laughs and maybe a little bit of motivation to have some fun and enjoy the running over the holiday period. We'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Because Christmas will be, we'll work it out. So have a Merry Christmas. We'll take the opportunity. We hope that there's joy and happiness for everyone. And I hope you get that new pair of running shoes that you've been wanting. We love making this podcast for you, our listeners. So let us know what you think by sending us a message on Instagram, Facebook, or email us at happyrunning@flyingrunner.com. And of course, if you are part of a running club and you want to share a little spotlight around who you are and what you do, give us make contact with us. Let's make this happen. We'd love, so share away. You can watch this episode on Spotify, YouTube, or listen on Apple, Amazon, and all major platforms. Every step counts. Keep running. And we're going to see you next week on the Flying Runner podcast. Happy running.
Happy running.
Happy running.
Teach the flying runner, run far, run free. Host the 7 stars, inclusive as can be. It's the flying runner for you and me. He's the flying runner, run far, run free. Host the 7 stars, inclusive as can be. It's the flying runner for you and me. Oh, oh, it's the flying runner for you